The Pokemon Scarlet and Violet meta has been ugly. A lot of the new Generation 9 Pokemon just bring unacceptable levels of power creep, stats, abilities, signature moves, and all kinds of crazy stuff. I have seen Dondozo run Resto without the Chesto and not even Sleep Talk, but also Rest. Sleep Talk seems to be about as common as ever, minus Crocoon, but maybe Crocoon could have also inspired some of this competitive theorycraft, which is another crazy thing about like applying theorycraft. What if we went to the past and then just realized like, oh, people were playing suboptimally and there were just ways of finding like super broken stuff? I don't know, that's the madness that we're in. Either way, I ended up on the early bird ability. Now, I already knew this about early bird, but with my like recent galaxy brain unlocking of Pokemon, that isn't just from Generation 9. Generation 9 brought that extra like stress to pull it out of me, but I was developing back in Generation 8 as well. Either way, the thing is, Rest with early bird only lasts for one turn. So instead of the cadence being take a hit, rest, sleep talk, wake up into your move, or rest, now it's take a hit, rest, sleep talk, or just sleep it off, bro, and then waking up immediately into another rest or something like that. And because rest is so common, and because sustain and walling out your opponent into the non-Japanese schizophrenic anti-setup meta is so popular, like, yeah, you can actually just find a tanky Pokemon, have it run rest, you get more effective healing than all the other recovery moves that were nerfed, and maybe you can make it work. So what Pokemon get early bird is their viability here? Now we have Xatu, and Xatu is a weird Pokemon because it has found niche viability on the Magic Bounce, but it already gets Roost, so it would be more ideal to find a Pokemon that has early bird, doesn't have sustain, and can maybe cheese something out, and also doesn't give up a better ability, and Xatu's just like super frail anyways. Kind of going through, Girafarig isn't a Pokemon. Dolliv was deliberately given stats to not be an Eviolite. Wait, Girafarig is a Pokemon. And it has Eviolite now. And no one's like really looked at it or acknowledged it because like 70, 65, 65 is terrible. Funny thing is, Xatu, I think, runs the same stat line. 65, 70, 70, so pretty much the same. And doesn't have the Eviolites. Like, Girafarig gets this and the early bird and didn't have a recovery option before. There might be something to cook with for Girafarig, so let's get into that competitive theorycraft deep dive. If you enjoy the video, don't forget to leave a like, share it with your friends, comment your thoughts down below. How insane does this get? So Girafarig gets the amnesia, gets the nasty plot. So I mean, like, we have insane snowballing and setup potential that gets really scary really quick, and then Dazzling Gleam. Now we also do have the stored power, which does get devastating, especially when you're setting up like this, but Dark-type Pokemon ruin your day, and yes, that means we also have access to the Calm Mind, and then we can go Calm Mind, Dazzling Gleam, or just a move that isn't going to get walled out or immune by something. Then we have the stored power in our back pocket, and now we're discount Cresselia. So we're going to have to compare the durability of Girafarig to Cresselia. The interesting thing being that Cresselia with the 85 base speed just kind of outspeeds everything and introduces a new kind of power creep that we haven't seen before because of how bulky and slow the Generation 9 meta has been. That Cresselia, yeah, like I've used it in the past, but I don't remember outspeeding things because people were running sweeping Pokemon back then. Whenever I play a Pokemon as Calm Mind, Stockpile, Iron Defense, whatever, I'm never expecting an outspeed, but now with the bulky meta, if you just like have weird innate speed creep, yes, as 80, which was always just like the most discounted. Anything between like 70 and 90, or 70 and 100 even, doesn't even count for like speed, so you never even consider it. Now there's actually like speed creeping here, and it kind of makes things weird. So Girafarig does have the outspeed into certain matchups, which is very beneficial on a setup Pokemon. So if the Eviolite durability is competitive, Girafarig has some advantages because Cresselia, if it gets toxic, it's eventually losing the game while it's like trying to set up, deal with all like the toxic damage, the opponent chipping it away before that stored power can come in. Girafarig sleeps it off. Also, again, we were talking about like the effective health gains. Sometimes you gotta Moonlight at 40% for comfort. Eventually you run out of Moonlight. Sometimes you have to double Moonlight. With Rest, you know you could take 2 hits, drop down to 20. If you have the outspeed, then you rest, or if you predict it, you rest. And now you're getting 80% effective health on this one, and you wake up in 1 turn, so the rest isn't as effective on the Cresselia even. Your overall durability could just be better. on Eviolite Girafarig, which has been sleeping since before Regulation D. Now, I haven't plugged any moves in, so I don't know the damage calculations. I want a live reaction into building, and the cool thing is that normal typing means we are immune to Shadow Ball, so we only have to worry about the Make It Rain, Modest, Max Golden Go. That hurts, and it also kind of gets us into some weirdness on, like, okay, this is why I was, like, considering the Amnesia just for the extra durability, because, like, we get into this, that's better. Also, Golden Go with the minus special attack means it doesn't 2-hit KO us, so we kind of need the Amnesia. Now, the reason why we have bold max defense is, again, this is Cresselia, this is Clefable, that we don't have any way of boosting our defense, so we just kind of let our special defense catch up. This isn't ideal, but again, like, we can out Amnesia, we can pace on the nasty plots, and then the game kind of gets weird, but also eventually, like, +6/+6 turns into this, we can't out Amnesia it, and then, like, a +5 versus a +6, so not as crazy. However, I wanted to take a look at the normal Psychic typing, because you think, oh, Psychic on any typing is going to be garbage. No, normal Psychic is actually cracked. Bug Dark Weakness. Not super common. Immunity to Ghost, Resistance Psychic, and Psychic Resistance doesn't really matter. Also, Specs Iron Bundle, looking to do just too much damage, unfortunately. Maybe we have to do something like the 204, 52 minus this, like, speed creep right here. Gets a little better because we are getting, like, multiplicative value out of the Eviolite, so maybe there is something to work here, but the power creep is very powerful. So you lose a little bit of reliability by not instantly working against meta threats, but if you can get that one little bit of advantage, if you can come in leading with a Calm Mind or leading with the Amnesia, then that makes all the difference. So you can eventually, like, scale into that point where, okay, we can rest, wake up super fast, and then, like, still have enough health to do something, take an action, rest, stall out some PP even. Hydro Pump could miss. There could be a drawback to their highest base power move, because yeah, like, 124 special attack, choice specs, Hydro Pump stab is one of the more big deals, but is, like, super common to where it becomes extra relevant for all, like, the damage theory craft and stuff. So, like, this doesn't make Girafarig not viable, it just makes it not free. But you know what? Not every single Pokemon needs to be a Calm Mind, Stored Power scaling Pokemon, or some kind of setup tank. I think there's a lost art in Disruptive Tank. This Girafarig will body any Pokemon, and it's mostly about that Mirror Coat catch. It's like, alright, so we don't have, like, enough reliability on the special defense to set up, so why don't we just one-shot the thing that isn't one-shotting us, but is making it too uncomfortable to reliably Amnesia or Calm Mind? Boom. Mirror Coat, KO. Maybe you still have, like, enough health with all of, like, your Eviolite durability to rest it off, especially into, like, tank Pokemon, and then you're just winning. Also, Thunder Wave, Foul Play. Klefki used to be really nasty with it, did get a series of nerfs, but also Klefki just lacking the durability, so now you're a more durable Pokemon. You're still outspeeding the tanks with your weird 85 speed, and then, like, you're just making it very rough for the opponent to play the game. Go, Thunder Wave, chip them down on Foul Play if they're a physical attacker, Mirror Coat, Rest if they're a special attacker. They also might not even be expecting the early wake up from the early bird, so they're thinking, oh, he's asleep for another turn, I'm not seeing any sleep talk, so I'm going to swing on him, early wake up, Mirror Coat, KO. Do something weird like that. It's like, this could just be a durable, disruptive Pokemon. Also, here's how you know that Smogon is completely fraudulent, because Girafarig is probably, like, the best setup low tier Pokemon. No respect. Like, imagine Girafarig not having to deal with Golden Go, Iron Bundle, Dondozo. Actually, we can just click here. Any of these Pokemon. These Pokemon, because it's even in a lower tier than that. Imagine if no Pokemon in the format can actually 3-hit KO you, so you just status their entire team, you Mirror Coat all their special attackers, and you make their physical attackers uncomfortable, and then you just gain enough advantage throughout the game. People are not expecting status in this generation. People are not expecting disruption. People don't even know what Girafarig can do. So, if you can, like, trade a special attacker on Mirror Coat, Thunder Wave a Pokemon, that is a significant 1-for-1 plus. Or if you can Thunder Wave a Sweeper, switch into, like, a bulky Pokemon, still have, like, some, like, hit points left to get an extra usage or hit out of Girafarig, or again, rest and then, like, combo out as a 3-hit KO Pokemon, then you are gaining significant advantage throughout the game. Let's say you Thunder Wave their Chien Pao when they use Swords Dance, you switch into Dondozo, Chien Pao has nothing, they gotta switch out, and then the game just kind of plays out. Maybe Girafarig breaks the Sash, maybe Girafarig revenges a Pokemon that Sash KOs you, so like you don't even need to be reliant on the Mirror Coat KO, and then Girafarig kind of gets enough in there to where, okay, Chien Pao lands, and now you're like kind of mid-speed Pokemon, fast bruisery thing around 100 base speed or whatever, just outspeeds a Chien Pao because of the Thunder Wave. And it lets you close out the game instead of getting swept or something. So, again, playing around with disruptive Pokemon isn't really that common and also isn't like super powerful, but maybe there's just a way of making like the most annoying team ever that just kind of like scraps it together and can eventually just slow down everything your opponent wants to do enough to win the game. So there we go, guys. Girafarig is actually good, and it goes back into kind of breaking down other mechanics where it's like there's something to break here, potentially, and even though like it's mostly just limited by the Pokemon that get it. If like there was actually a Pokemon that's being used right now that gets Early Bird, but hasn't been like really considered because of the other options it gets, it's like, wait a second, we just rest Early Bird and now this Pokemon's like 3 times better? That unfortunately doesn't exist, but that's still out there. There's probably like an item, an ability combination, a mechanic interaction, hiding in plain sight that's like, oh, this Pokemon that's either decent now becomes busted, or a Pokemon that is just looked on as completely unviable is actually pretty good. Competitive theory. Hope you guys enjoy the video. Hope you all have a nice day. Thank you. Hit the mic very much for watching.